Today we're playing the Yawning. And we get to... Oh. It can be two-player. Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna be this person. Yawning will be here in 6 weeks, and no one expects it. Not one of us. We just keep on living our lives, week by week, unaware. Okay, it's my turn. Where should I go? Forest, the arena, the alchemy tower, the gardens, the palace, the tavern. Let's go to the alchemy tower. Let's clean the labs. You spend the week cleaning up chemicals. You're paid 1 wealth for your label and gain 1 physique and 1 magic. One day you hear cries for help coming from the next room. Running over to investigate, you see that the alchemists there have accidentally created an ooze monster. How do you dispatch the ooze? I'm gonna blast it with magic. You try to blast the ooze with magic, but just end up producing a bouquet of flowers in your hand. The other alchemists make short work of the ooze with a dizzying array of magic spells. For the rest of the week, you are ridiculed by denizens of the tower. Denizens. How embarrassing! You lose 1 charm. Your turn. You can't go to the tower while I'm there. Try the... Gonna pickpocket or fight crime. You spent the week outsmarting and beating up criminals. You gain 1 mind, 1 physique, and 1 fitness. One night, a small child approaches you with his hands cupped and outreached towards you. He doesn't say anything, but just looks up at you with wide eyes, waiting expectantly. Give him some coin or ignore him. You're also broke. You don't have a penny you could spare. You end up hanging out all night, though, talking with the child. Hearing a child's outlook on the world allows you to see things in a slightly different light. You gain 1 mind. They say the last time it came, the Yawning devoured houses whole, stole lives, tore families and family members apart, but that was a very long ago. Okay. You spend the week diagnosing and tending to the sick. You gain 2 mind and earn 1 wealth. One day a patient comes into the hospital with sores that no one's ever seen before. While walking by his bedside, he looks to you and rudely asks for a glass of water. Some water? You bring him a small glass to quench his thirst. He takes a large sip, swishes it around, and then he spit it at me! And water hits you right in the face. After cleaning up, you scald the obviously insane man for spitting at you. That night, when you came home, you felt dizzy and started... Oh, man. Ah, now I'm hallucinating. I gained 3 magic, though. I lose 3 mind. The tavern, palace, garden, tower, arena, forest. Compete in a fight or bet on a fight. You spend the week fighting brutes in the arena. You gain 2 physique and 1 fitness. One day, while wandering the halls, one of the arena fighters approaches you. "Excuse me, miss. I need a sparring partner," he says. "Are you down for a fight or 2? Accept his challenge or refuse him. "Let's do this!" he screams. He takes a swing at your head. You get punched square in the face. The next thing you know, you're in the arena's infirmary. It appears that punch gave you a yeah. Symptoms include having a mild headache forever. You've lost 1 mind. It was on us in a heartbeat, or so the story goes. The earth shook, the air went still. Okay. I'm gonna go back with all my magic and because I'm insane, and brew a potion. You spend a week experimenting with different potion brews. You gain 2 magic and 1 mind. Over the course of a week, you notice yourself growing more and more spiral-shaped sores all over your body. Oh, because that guy spit on my face. One day, the sores begin glowing in a vibrant blue. You feel your magic power grow even stronger, while your mind slips further and further. You gain 3 magic, but you lose 3 more mind. In no time, the sores are growing so bright that they hurt to look at. Someone rushes up to you, asking if you're alright. With only a glance, you set him aflame? What? Then you let out a scream that shakes the earth and shatters the skulls of all nearby. A river of blood coats the ground as you walk about. What the hell? You blank out. Black out. When you come to, you're at home in your bed. Your sores have faded, and you feel like the disease symptoms have passed. Well, you know, after killing a few people. You spend a week no, it says stealing. You know, like steal your mind against the horrors of the hospital, making sure it is as clean as can be. You gain 1 mind, 1 physique, and earn 1 wealth. One day, a patient whose voice has been cursed and replaced with piano noises will not stop talking. All the other patients are complaining that his voice is making the hospital even more depressing. The doctors have tried convincing him to stop talking, but to no avail. Try to stop him or sing with him. You listen to his piano keys, but can't quite work out what he's saying. His sounds get progressively sadder and sadder. It starts driving you slightly mad. You lose 1 mind. And then the world was a hallowing fury. Chaos. That's what I said. No, I didn't. Halloween. Chaos, screaming, the sounds of all we know being pushed in half. Pulled in half. I really destroyed the tower? You spend the week hunting defenseless critters. Gain 2 fitness, sell the pelts for 1 wealth. One day you stumble upon a gigantic moss-covered stone. It pulses with magical energy. What do you do? I touch it! You lay your hands on them. Oh, Jack! Of course! Blue lines shoot out from your fingers and orange details into the stone. It begins to crack into a massive human form. It stands upright and looks down at you. Thanks, it says in a booming voice that wrestles all the trees around you. It picks you up by the collar and places you on its shoulder. In the distance, you spot what appears to be a gigantic magical storm. Beautiful, isn't it? The golem asks. You sit on the construct's shoulders for hours, admiring the beauty of the distant storm. The thing that's gonna kill us? You gained 3 magic. I was 17. You got more physique than me. Physique. Going to do some work or attend a ball. Oh, you spend the week doing paperwork for the palace. You pay 2 wealth and gain 1 mind. One day the king approaches you. Excuse me, but you look like someone who I can confide in, he says. This is gonna get awkward, ain't it? I really want a prince to take over the throne, but the queen and I aren't exactly active in the bedroom. He blushes a little. Do you have any advice on how I could romance the queen, so to speak? Teach the king your ways, or admit that you don't know how... Oh my god! You spend hours drawing a bunch of diagrams and going through scenarios with the king. By the end of it, he's just as charming as you are. He thanks you and hands you a large stack of coins as a reward.
What's my turn? 5.
You gain 3 wealth. After that night, you get this inking feeling that you might have actually made things worse.
I'm going back to the palace, so
When it arrives this time, how will we fare? Will we once more rebuild, move on, be strong, or have we forgotten? Alright, what am I gonna do? I know I can. I haven't destroyed that yet. I'm gonna go to the tavern. I'm gonna be a bartend. You spend the week serving treats at the tavern. You earn 1 wealth and tips and gain 2 charm. One day, a fortune teller sets up at one of the tavern's tables. She offers to read anyone's fortune for a small sum. Sure. Yes, please. You spend 1 wealth. The fortune teller takes your hand and begins showering you with promises of love and wealth. She doesn't really go into any detail, and the whole time you can't help but feel that this is all an act. Underwhelmed and slightly poorer, you can't help but feel like you wasted your money. That night, while walking home, the fortune teller runs up to you and gives you a kiss on the cheek. There's the love part, she says with a toothless smile. Then she hands you a giant sack of gold. There's the wealth, she says. You gain 2 wealth. Still think I'm a hack? Yeah, a little. Gonna fight crime. One night you hear cheering coming from the alleyway. Peering in, you see a crowd of men cheering on dogs violently ripping each other apart. One of the men spots you and asks, "Oi, would you like to participate in our little betting game?" Bet on the game or try to stop them? You try to stop them. You tried to convince the gamblers that dog fighting is wrong. Your words fall on deaf ears. Very quickly, they get quite angry with you. One of them walks up to you and pulls out a knife. You punch him right in the face before he's even able to react.
Yeah, I have 10...
I'm gonna kick your... He collapsed to the ground, clutching his bloody nose. The rest of the gamblers pack up their things and run away. You stop the town's illegal dogfighting ring! Yay! You feel very good about yourself right now. You gain one more physique. You gain one more fitness. One more mind, one more charm, one more magic. The yawning is almost here. Almost. 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 I'm gonna attend a ball. You spend the week attending fancy gatherings.
Oh my god.
Game
You
2
see
jump.
magic?
I know! I told you I was 17 and what fitness. One day you accidentally bump into a duke. Watch where you're going, filthy peasant. He shoves you out of the way with his hand and continues walking.
Yeah.
Yeah, passively aggressive. That outfit looks really comfortable. He looks mildly insulted. Sick burn. Gain one more charm. You gonna find more crime? I'm Batman. One day while wandering the slums, you notice that the stones used to line the road seems to have a certain pattern to them. With a piece of paper and a pencil, you manage to work out that each type of symbol corresponds to a letter of the alphabet. Reading the code points you to a small trapdoor hidden in a back alley. You descend it to find a dimly lit room with 2 cubes hovering off the ground, text scribbled all over them. Arcane or Gallet? You touch the cube labeled the Arcane. Everything flashes white. You wake up at home feeling a little odd. You gain 3 magic. The storm arrives in the night. By the morning, it still rages. For 3 whole days, the tempest puts us through a grinder, drowns us, crushes us, ruins us. But then in the end, we see the graveyard our home has become. Our home. Does anything yet live? Is it our past saving? Choose your role. Okay. The Conjurer.
I don't know, I think you have the fucking magic for it.
You take it upon yourself to help conjure up supplies for the town. Your mind clouded with madness, you accidentally summon an army of demons. 'Cause why not? They decide to make you their leader, and together you terrorize the remaining survivors. Oops. This significantly ruins the town's chances of survival. You take it upon yourself to help rebuild the town by hand. You rebuild homes as breakneck speed, impressing the rest of the survivors. This helps the rebuilding effort significantly. At least you did something. And also, we set about our tasks once more, living our lives, this time in a way we might never have expected, or even wanted. But in the end,
We have a fucking town full of demons!
we were defeated. Those of us left struggled to put our homes to right, but the effort was futile, doomed. The city bleak. No, that's not bleak. Blend's survivors eventually became a husk, a dead thing, and perhaps the yawning was the only partly to blame. Yeah, the other part was me. I totally did the other one, I'm sorry. Okay, here's mine. You flee the town with an army of demons at your command. With all this power, you rave. No, it doesn't have a D at the end. It's rave. What fun. Your turn. The town is in shambles. You're too afraid to go anywhere else. One day, somebody offers you strength potions in exchange for your services as a bodyguard. You happily oblige. After a few strange potions, you become strangely dependent on them, craving them constantly. They take a huge toll on your body, and your health decreases quickly. On the outside, you look like a hulking beast, but your insides are rotten and limp. One day, you have one too many potions. Your corpse is found face down in a puddle of vomit and foam. Yeah, that's what's happening. That was depressing. I had fun. I came out with it later. What?
You didn't see the credit?
No, I didn't. Let's try one more. Okay. Stop picking all of them. Okay. Do the fat guy. It's in 6 weeks. Okay, my turn. You spend the weeks serving drinks at the tavern. Yay. One day, while in the tavern, a heated argument between two patrons erupts. Soon enough, fists are flying and everyone seems to be joining in on the violence. Break up the fight. You jump on top of the table and yell a plea to the patrons to stop all the violence. Patrons ignore you completely and continue attacking one another. You go to sleep that night thinking a little less of the human race. You lose one charm. Your turn. One day, all decide to take a break from work and instead throw a cantrip party. He waves his hand and produces a confetti in front of him. The other spews a seemingly endless number of doves from his sleeves. Then all of the alchemists turn to you to see what you can come up with. Simple or complex. You snap your fingers and end up accidentally setting your hair ablaze. For the rest of the week, the alchemists make jokes at your expense. You lose 2 charm. It's coming. Drink. You spent the entire week getting wasted. How did I get 1 physique for that? Someone hasn't been drunk. One day the tavern throws an alternate annual dart tournament. Enter. You sign up, ready for prowess. You play the worst game of darts anyone's ever seen. You manage to break several glasses and nearly miss someone's head. You came in dead last. Somebody wrote a song of how poorly you did, and it's quickly become the most popular tune in town. Of course they did. Yeah. Eureka! When you look over to see what he has done, you spot a small, previously dead ferret come to life. I figured out the antidote to death, the alchemist exclaims. The undead ferret lets out a horrific noise and lumbers about slowly. Destroy the abomination or praise him. That's amazing, you say, slightly discomfortable by the ferret's appearance. You didn't hurt the alchemist's feelings. Gain 1 charm.
I wanted magic! I've got 0 fucking magic.
I know!
So, it's gonna be you and me in the fucking lab and fucking...
Yeah, let's see if it... Yep. One day a bard pulls out his lute in the bar and starts playing a tune. Unfortunately, his singing is horrible, and it's ruining the tavern's atmosphere. You decide to do something about it. Convince him to leave. Challenge him to a lute duel.
Yeah, you're challenging him.
You borrow the bar owner's lute and challenge the bard to a musical duel. You only just start playing the lute when you realize that you're even worse than the bard. The bard easily outplays you and mentions for you to lay down your lute. You can tell there are a couple of people snickering at you right now. Embarrassing. You lose 1 charm.
I'm really tempted to say some of these.
What the fuck, right? One day, an artificer stops by for a visit. She's adorned with magical gadgets and gizmos and is followed everywhere by a clockwork spider. That's fancy. The alchemists of the tower all go out of their way to impress her, offering her an array of potions and elixirs. As she's leaving, she adorns the most charming of the alchemists with a special trinket. The fact that she doesn't choose you was a very humbling experience. You gain 1 charm. One day, drinking contest is held. Enter! You down pint after pint, drinking as if your life depended on it. You end up blacking out. When you come to, you find yourself at home you don't recognize, and only your underwear. Okay. Your clothes are nowhere to be found, and you seem to be the only one home. What happened? I got late. One day, while in the tower, one of the alchemists asks you to watch his potion while he's out. Soon after he leaves, the potion begins bubbling out of control. If you don't do something soon, it'll explode! Throw it out the window or drink it. You quickly drink the potion. Your stomach acid seems to have cooled the potion's fury. You gain 2 magic. Congratulations, you finally got some magic. You spend the day serving drinks. They are very first day of the week. When you walk through the tavern doors, everyone cheers. Apparently, during your last drinking out, and you were a party animal while you were blacked out. Legends spread of your party hard spirits. You gain 2 charm. The most charming bastard in the world. Excuse my language. One day you hear cries for help coming from the next room. Running over to investigate, you see that the alchemists have created an ooze monster. How do you deal with it? Do you punch it? Or do you try to blast magic at it? Held the ooze into a puddle with a ray of magical spells. Good job. The alchemists all cheer and you gain 1 charm. Here's a fortune teller. And does it fortune? Yeah, sure. Spend 1 thing. She begins to shower you with praises of love and wealth? Underwhelmed and very unhappy. You start walking home, but then she comes up and gives you a kiss. That's the love part. And then hands you a giant sack of gold, and that's the wealth part. Still think I'm a hack? Yes, I do. Careful. Your turn. It's the last week. Might as well. You spend the weeks experimenting with different potion brews. You gain 2 magic and 1 mind. Nothing out of the ordinary happens to you this week. Okay. Who do I want to be? I want to be the town drunk! Just to gather as much alcohol as you can and drink. You gain 2 physique and 1 charm. What are you gonna be? Yeah. Oh, hey! When you're magic, you summon... No? You summon supplies of the highest caliber. With little effort, you're summoning high-quality lumber and food from out of nowhere. This helps rebuilding efforts significantly. Because I was cursed, remember? And I had, like, 0 mind. You have at least 6 mind and 14 in the magic. But in the end... we were defeated. Again.
But you try to do the
Batman. To cope with living in the ruined city, you began brewing your own alcohol. You start distributing it to other survivors to help them cope too. Soon enough, there are lines around the block of people craving the numbness your drink provides. You actually do pretty well for yourself and are treated with some respect in a place where that is hard to come by. The people are starting to go blind, however. Yeah. Your previous experience with exposure to magic has affected you horribly in the post. Yawhg Wasteland. You first notice this when you begin growing scales all over your body. Soon enough, you're sprouting a tail, a 3rd eye, a crown of horns, and have shed all of your hair. Fear of being hunted forces you to live in the sewers of the city, living...
Wait. So I can conjure shit tons of lumber and food.
Can't when you're a lizard thing, I guess. Living on a diet of rats and filth. You never see the sun again.
So there's no
No, there is! I've gotten a good one before. Okay. Special thanks to... Who am I trying to see here? Who's Zoe Quinn? Oh, yeah. Okay, one more time. Actually, we can play 2 characters. It's in 6 weeks. Okay. Alice. I'm gonna do some work. You spend the week doing paperwork. One day the king approaches you. Excuse me. I am having a really hard time impregnating my wife. I have 5 charms, sir. Admit that you don't know how to help. Walks away disappointed. Okay, I think this one's... Is this one mine too? What's yours? You fight. While wandering around the halls, between matches, you spot your former lover, Kelly. An awkward exchange happened in which you want to know how they're doing without seeming to care too much. After a few minutes, Jane, one of the most popular fighters in the arena, butts into the conversation. Hey Kelly, sorry to interrupt, but we've got to leave right away if we want to make it to your mother's in time. You say an awkward goodbye as they walk off holding hands. How do you feel? You feel happy for Kelly or extremely jealous? You feel happy. You feel it's good that both of you have moved on. This encounter, despite its awkwardness, was refreshing. You gain 1 charm. I think this is you too. Yeah, it's you. You spin the wheel. One night, a woman walks up to you. Excuse me, miss. Feeling a little lonely tonight, she asks. For only a small amount of coin, I can make you feel good all night. That's up to you. You don't have enough money for that, she shrugs and walks off. I was going to. Hold on. I will try. You spend the week experimenting on potions. One day, the alchemists decide to take... Simple trick. By snapping your fingers, you change your eyebrow color. Not bad, one of the alchemists say. You gain 1 magic. Alright. And do some work. One day, you decide to lean up against a wall just to take a break. It rotates as you apply pressure, and you scramble back a set of stairs. You enter a large, dusty room filled with barrels. You find the king's famous wine cellar! Keep it quiet about what you saw. Just knowing you have the secret to hide is so exciting. Gain 1 charm and 1 mind. Your turn. It's your turn. Gonna move him. You're still fighting. During a match, another warrior's weapon is knocked from their grasp. You barely manage to avoid it. When a sinking crunch, it destroys the knee of a nearby bystander. He accuses you of causing him harm by not stopping the flying weapon. He takes you to court. Offer to settle or defend yourself. You object, but you can't seem to convince the judge. He rules in the favor and orders you to perform community service. Unfortunately, the boring tasks take a toll on you mentally. One night you hear a woman whisper at you from nearby. Hey you, she cries out, looking to make a bit of coin. I'm always up for more coin or no thanks? No thanks. Despite your intention to say no, you find yourself giving in to her completely. She signals you to go into the alleyway with her. She's going to totally drink your blood. Come closer, she says. No one else can hear what I'm about to tell you. You lean in close either to learn how you will be earning this coin. She presses herself right up against you, moving her lips slowly towards your ear. Suddenly, she bites your neck vigorously. Blood pours from the wound, and she clings to you tightly, lapping it all up. You black out. When you come to, you see her standing over you. "Thanks," she says, tossing you a couple of coins. "You ain't won wealth." She then melts into the shadows. When you feel your neck, you notice your wound has healed completely. Your body feels ice cold. You gain 3 charm, lose 3 physique.
Well then.
I'm gonna go in the gardens. Meditate. You spend the week in deep meditation. One day you come across an elderly man snoring on the grass. "You there, young person." He waves you over. "I'm having an awful time trying to nap in the bright sun. Do you mind giving me some shade?" I'll block the sun for the old man. Ages seem to pass on you standing in the hot sun. The reverend man sleeps peacefully in your shadow. The sun is and after some hours, you begin to feel faint. Gradually, everything grows dark. When you awaken, it is evening in the garden. He didn't even try to help me? And an ancient, gorgeous tree stands where the old man was sleeping. For witness this magnificent event, you gain 1 magic. One day, the bloodletting leeches somehow escape from their containers. Leeches start flooding into the hallway. There are people screaming everywhere as leeches slither towards them. Somebody do something, yells one of the doctors. I don't know any magic, so I guess I'm using myself as bait. You start taunting the leeches to lead them back into the containers. Leeches swarm all over you. You are subject to vicious series of bites. Before the leeches get bored and take off, you lose 2 physique. The leeches make their way out of the hospital and end up infesting all of the nearby waterbeds. One night, on your way home, you spot a rusty dagger on the ground. Pick it up or leave it. As you pick it up, you hear a voice from behind you whisper, "You are not worthy." The dagger begins to dissolve into a black smoke. Within seconds, the blade is gone. Well, then. Over the course of the week, you've noticed your skin becoming paler and your teeth sharper. You notice that whenever you talk, everybody nearby hangs on your every word. You gain 3 charm. You also feel more frail than you used to. You lose 3 physique. One day, you notice a woman tilting her head back, brushing her hair. Her neck fully exposed. You can even see a vein or 2. Delicious. Before you know it, you're coated in blood with a mangled form. There are dozens of people around, and they're all filled with delicious nectar. The next few hours are a blur. You wake up the next day in bed sheets soaked with blood that is not yours. You look into the mirror, notice your skin has retained its color, and that your teeth have dulled. Weird. You spend the week experimenting. One day, while in the tower, one of the alchemists asks you to watch his potion while he's out. It bubbles under his control. It's about to explode!
Okay.
Throw it out the window! You toss the potion out the window and watch a container empty into the town's water supply. Quick thinking! You get in one mind. You take off early for the day, hoping no one finds out. You spend the week doing paperwork. One day, you bump into a duke. Says, watch your filthy peasant. And, passive-aggressive response. Your turn. One day, in between matches, you scramble upon one of the higher-ranked fighters in ingesting illegal strength potions. Oh no. Please, sir, don't report me, she cries. Why is there so many females here? I'll just share some of my potions with you if you keep quiet, she adds. Take her off or report her. Thank you so much for not reporting me, she says while handing you her flask. You take a little swig of her potion and can feel your muscles expanding significantly. You gain 2 physique. You've destroyed the slums! You can't be there anymore! You spend the week serving drinks at the tavern. Da-da-la-la. One day a bard pulls out his... loot thing. Yeah, challenging him. It might work. You have a lot of charm. You play out a beautiful complex. It's just beautiful. The tavern roars with the praise. The bard tries his best to relate your piece, but ends up dropping his loot, snapping it in half. Aww. He bows his head shamefully in defeat and walks out of the tavern. You are so mean! Fitness and charm. You're mean. One day you hear one of them shout, Eureka! You look over. There is a dead ferret. Destroy the abomination. You smack the ferret off the counter and stomp on it until it stops twitching. The alchemist is horrified. Gain 1 physique. 5, yeah. I'm gonna drink, why not? One day, while in the tavern, a heated argument erupts. Soon enough, it's a fighting. Break up the thing. Hey, everyone calm down and chatting to one another like nothing ever happened. Thanks for that, says the bartender, which is you, while slipping you a small sack of coins. Yay, I'm richer. Excuse me. One day, while wandering the halls, one of your arena fighters approaches you. Excuse me, sir. I need a sparring partner. Do you accept? Let's do this, he says. Swing! Swing! Punch! Punch! The bones in the fighter's hand crack. Ow! Ow! He runs away whimpering. That was pretty cool. You gained 1 charm. You should totally attend a ball as a vampire. Do it. Do it. You spend the week attending fancy gatherings. Gain 2 charm and 1 physique.
You do realize how charming I am, right?
Yeah, 1 for this. Yeah, you are freaking charming. One day, you hear somebody shouting something in the hallway. There's a bomb in the palace, they scream. Well, I guess you're not marrying a duke. There's a mass panic as people try desperately to escape. Locate and disarm the bomb! Do it!
No.
No! Oh, knocks you off the beat and completely wrecks the castle. Now no one can go to the castle! Oop, that's where I was working. Is it my turn? Is it this guy?
Yeah.
Real question. Start to my phone, is it? La 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 la. Nah. She doesn't give me anything. Whatever. It's almost here. Well, now I can't go to work. Thanks a lot, vampire lady. Tens of patience. One day, while in the Missouri ward, you notice a woman about to give birth. The baby she birthed is no ordinary baby, however. The skin is pitch black and shiny, and its eyes glow like orange flame. By the way, you can be the lady who gives birth to...
I know.
It ruffles itself from the doctor's hands and tries to fly away. Stop that demon! Yells the doctor. I don't have magic! I don't have strength! I guess I'll try magic. With a wave of your hand, you keep a magical barrier blocking the exit. The baby breaks right through it and flies off the night sky. Like, goodbye. One day, in the middle of a match, a small baby with jet black skin and glowing eyes falls into the middle of the arena. Fire erupts from his eyes, melting the flesh off of one of the fighters. The baby then shapeshifts slowly into a Gargantuan horned demon. Before I go on a massive rampage, will anyone dare to challenge me to a duel, says the demon. Challenge him!
I have 20 strength.
Well, look at what we have here, the demon says, responding to you stepping forward. You pull out your weapon ready for combat. The demon tilts its head forward and charges. Sorry. You run full speed at the charging demon with your weapon raised above your head. You cleave right through the demon. Yeah! It beats into countless black tentacles that then pierce through your body. You gain 2 physique and you're definitely a demon now.
And 2 mind.
And 2 mind. And 2 charm. And 3 magic! Vampire lady that ruined my workspace. Go into the forest, vampire lady! I'm gonna tell you the tavern font. You gonna enter?
Yeah.
I'm gonna try and... You end up doing 2nd place! Congratulations! Confidence boost.
20 charm on
Alrighty. Something's gotta be brewed. Coming from the next room. Running over to investigate. Oh, it's another ooze fuck you. Yeah, but I already did this. Alright. This is the lady. She's got a lot of mind, so, but not a lot of charm.
Yeah, I was gonna have those charming ones be
Okay. What should she be?
doctor.
Yeah, we'll be the doctor. You take it upon yourself to help the sick and injured. Despite your vast medical knowledge, your hands are too shaky to save some patients. You lose a few, but manage to save most of them. This helps the survival effort quite a bit. Okay. Now this is the guy who's like 22 strength.
I think he can build.
You take it upon yourself to help rebuild the town by hand. You rebuild houses at breakneck speed, impressing most of the survivors.
Yeah, I have 20 strength.
Yeah. This helps the rebuilding effect significantly. So far, we're doing okay! This is the really charming lady. Take it upon yourself to be the leader of the survivors. Despite the fact that you'll probably drink them dry. It's your tasks. You give motivating speeches and act as a effective moderator in disputes. This helps the rebuilding effort significantly. So far, we're doing okay! Alright.
Have him be the conjurer.
Be the conjurer. Take it upon yourself to help conjure out a surprise for the town. With your magic, you summon supplies of the highest caliber. We've already read this, but, you know, food, stuff like that. It's great. This helps significantly. If we don't win, we set about our tasks once more, living our lives, this time in a way, but in the end, we flourished. Towers, once wrecked, rose towards the sky. Trees again took root and then blossomed. We all bloomed, and though it took a long time, and you know, the third playthrough, our future is bright. Should the Yawhg ever return, we will be ready.
Yeah, we have to do
Well, we finally, like, put our stuff together, kind of thing.
Yeah, well, he also slayed the team.
Alright, individually. Yawhg changed you, probably for the better. With the tower rebuilt, you decide to retake your role as a doctor in the hospital. There you make friends with another doctor. The two of you do everything together. You're inseparable. Eventually, you even decide to get an apartment and live with each other. Then your friend gets married and everything changes. Aww. Their spouse has to move away to a new town and your friend follows. You try to keep in touch by mail, but the letters start to come less and less frequently. You try to fraternize with the other doctors. While they're all nice people, nothing can compare. Aww. When the town rebuilt, you decide to become a full-time arena fighter. Of course you did. You knocked out a demon. You slowly rose the ranks, knocking out scores of fighters. Even ones as great as Jan the Beautiful. Before long, you became an arena champion. You travel across the world fighting the very best of the best. Tales are sung far and wide of your mighty feats of strength.
I have to
You bleed black tar. With the old tavern owner dying in the Yawhg, you decide to take on the task. Yes, vampire tavern owner. Before long, the tavern's busier than ever, filled with good music, games, and friends. And you eat them all.
And they can play a mean loot.
Mean loot. Your tavern's doing so great that every other tavern in the area has closed down. You start a chain of taverns throughout the city to fill the demand. Each tavern you open makes it more difficult to manage all of them. You begin enacting policies that make it easier for you to keep track of how the taverns are being run. Are we not ingesting the fact that she's a vampire at all? The taverns all start to become bland and uninteresting places to be, but since you have a monopoly, you're still making ridiculous amounts of money. After the town is rebuilt, you go back to meditating in the park. Sorry. You spend a week at a time sitting in one spot, trying to cross to another plane of existence. After years of attempts and self-sacrifice, you finally manage to cross over to the astral realm. You come to find that the astral realm is exactly like the normal world, except everyone's eyes are slightly smaller. That's sad. You don't know how to get back home. No. Maybe if you meditate again.
For years.
For years.
Well, then,
We finally got a good ending, sorta. It was kind of anticlimactic ending, but I think that's enough for tonight, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah? Thanks for everyone who came for my version of a horror story. Obviously not everyone's version. But anyways, thank you for joining.